Hello everybody, my name's Andrew and I'm with Pure Resonance Audio, and today we're going to discuss how to connect your amplifier to a rack mount mixer. So oftentimes we have users that purchase sound systems from us and they're planning to self-install. That's great. A lot of times you can self-install, but we get the question often, how do I connect these things that I just purchased together? In an audio system, you have different components. Oftentimes those components consist of a power amplifier and a mixer. Those things are separate pieces of equipment. We have our MX84. This is a 4-zone unit. It's a pretty cool mixer because it allows you to matrix zone. So if you need to create different areas in your facility and play different audio sources, it allows you to do that. Over here I have two different power amplifier options. One is our DA2500 and the other one is our LA21000. So depending on the application, you may see one or the other. I want to point out that when you purchase an audio system from us, you're likely going to receive patch cables that are needed to connect these things together. We make it nice and simple so you don't have to go hunting for other pieces of equipment. So the whole point of a mixer is to take in all of your audio sources. So maybe I have a computer or a microphone or CD player, maybe I want to route my TV audio. Anything that I want to play through the system is going to be routed to this mixer, and then I can mix those levels, the gains, the treble, the bass, everything to my needs for my facility. I take that output, go to my power amplifier. From the power amplifier, you're going to go to your speakers, which amplifies that signal so that you can hear it and you can get the desired level. We're going to take the MX84 and I'm going to show you how to take the outputs from this and go into the inputs of my power amplifiers. The inputs are going to look a little bit different on the power amplifiers. Something to note, the outputs can also look different. And so it's important to make sure as you're connecting things, you have the right patch cables, and also the polarity, positive, negative, ground connections can look different as well. And I'll show you the orientation and how they can be different on these units specifically. So on the back of this unit, there's a lot of different things. These are all of your inputs. These are going to be your outputs on this side. I mentioned earlier that this is a 4-zone unit. So you're going to have 4 outputs. They're labeled line here. So these are my line level outputs. One of them's missing because I have it already connected here. For this example, I'm going to take zone 1 and I'm going to go to channel 1 of my LA21000 power amplifier. I'm going to keep it consistent. Going to go out of zone 1, going to go to channel 1. So what I need to do is I need to take what's called a Phoenix connector out. I'm going to take a different one out just to show you what that looks like. So that pops out. What you're going to need is you're going to need a little flathead screwdriver. That's important because you have to open up these terminals to be able to put your wires in so that you can clamp them down snugly. Once I have this out, you're going to open these screws as far as you can. They're on the bottom here. You're just going to unscrew it. And as you do that, you're going to see this metal portion come up. It's opening this terminal so that I can put my wire in and then clamp it back down. I've already pre-wired this, and what that's gonna look like is this should be nice and snug. You wanna make sure that when you're clamping it down that you're not tightening too tight. That way you're not damaging the wire, but you wanna be able to pull on it like this and it not come out. Once you've done that, you're just gonna plug it in, make sure that's nice and snug. And then you're gonna route over to channel 1, and make sure you're going out of your mixer. So you're going to be going in to your power amp. So you have an input and an output. I'm going into the input since I'm going from the output. Don't worry about this output. We'll have another video describing what this is. As you can see, this connection was bare wire, a balanced connection, positive, negative, ground, out of my MX84 into still balanced, but it's an XLR connection. So you'll see it's a 3-prong male XLR, and it went straight into that input. On this next example, both are going to be bare wire. So as I mentioned, the same concept, getting from one piece of equipment to the other, making sure you're going from the output of your mixer to the input channel of your amplifier, but this is going to look a little bit differently. So in this example, we're still going to go out of zone 1, out of this mixer, so I'm going to go ahead and plug that in. That's already pre-wired. And then over here, you'll see that it's also bare wire connection. I want to point out though, looking at channel 1, the polarity is a little bit different. So over here, it was positive, negative, ground. Over here, the orientation is negative, positive, ground. So it's really important that you don't flip those wires, otherwise you could create issues. I've already pre-wired it. I have it negative, positive, ground as it's labeled here. Those are nice and snug. I can pull on it, as you can see, not too tight. So then I'll make sure that's snug. And now I have a connection from my mixer to my power amplifier. Now, theoretically, I have one zone created. So I could repeat this process. So if I need a 2-zone system, I would go from zone 2 output and go to channel 2. If I needed a 3rd zone or a 4th zone, maybe I add a second amplifier with multiple channels again and create a 3rd zone and a 4th zone, continue this process again as needed. That's a very high-level overview of how to connect an amplifier to a mixer. I hope this was helpful. If you have any questions, please let us know. If you found that this video was helpful, please like and subscribe. We're gonna link the video notes and the product links in the description below, so please take a look at that, and hopefully you find that helpful. Until next time, thanks for joining us today.